Dear friends, I profusely apologize. I cannot speak in Telugu. I've stayed in Hyderabad for a long time. I should have picked up in Telugu but haven't. At the outset, let me congratulate Justice for Rohit Vemula Struggle and Solidarity Committee. They have done extraordinary work. They've taken the movement to different parts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. And my own hunch is there are some 2-3 important actors who have made the movement grow in spirit and movement grow in size. I would think the KNPS is one of the very important actors in taking this movement across. Now, I have a very long association with KNPS. Way back in 2002, we had a campaign against DDS, Deccan Development Society, where this gentleman, I don't want to name him, but he beat up a Dalit employee, and email was pretty new at the time. There was no Google at the time, and we campaigned on the email for many months, and finally we made him, because it's a very huge NGO, finally we made him accept an inquiry, and Balagopal was heading that inquiry. And of course there was Satyanarayana was a KNPS coordinator for, there was no Telangana at that time, so he was a coordinator, and it was a massive success. I just want to reflect on what is KNPS for a moment. I think KNPS for me brings very different types of politics together. In fact, by bringing, to put it more bluntly, a certain kind of class politics and a certain kind of caste politics, it seems to transform both caste and class. And this is a certain kind of energy which I think has not been exploited very much across the country. It's transforming both for class politics and also for caste politics. And they've been consistently working on caste annihilation. Probably the only organization anywhere in the world who have completely devoted the time to this kind of a project, a long-term project. I don't think there has been any other organization in any part of the world which has devoted so much time. The second important actor I would think is our Radhika Vemula Garu. I think it is her spirit which is holding this movement together. It is her face which has become visible across the country. She is an inspiration, an icon. She's turned into an icon, and her face is, is such a familiar face today in many parts of the country. And it's not just a face that is familiar. It's not like Sachin Tendulkar. Face becomes familiar for different reasons, and her face has become familiar for reasons that actually contemporary politics cannot understand. It is, I would think she represents a form of a convergence of varieties of forces. She's not a feminist in the typical sense of feminist. She is not a typical a caste, she doesn't represent a BSP kind of a position. She doesn't represent, there is something very grounded in what she does, and it is not just some abstract thing that people chase, and there's something very grounded, and that's what I think is responsible for for her what do you call infinite empathy that she seems to win across different kinds of people, different sections in the society. I think she has been an enormous voice in this struggle, and I think she'll continue to do this. I think this is something. I come from a social science discipline, and I would not hesitate to say that she is still unexplained in conventional social sciences. The third one, which I would want to, the third important reason why this movement is, what vibrant and really working is there are extraordinary people who are working in this movement, and they happen to be my colleagues. And I know, and they're sitting here, and I would think they are an inspiration for fellow colleagues and fellow students, and they represent very different kinds of politics, but they seem to be working together, involved in a way that it's not easy to find people of such depth and commitment. Something which my friend from IFLU, I forget his name, he was talking of how Rohit has become an important figure for caste politics. So I grew up in a generation which actually I was born in, let's call it, a socialist Hindu India. What the socialist Hindu India does is it hides caste. It hides caste so well that you will never know that you have been bitten by caste. We are products, I think my generation is a product of that kind of a politics. And when we went to higher education institutions, we couldn't see caste very clearly, or we are not able to, such a whitewash was happening, we are not able to do it. But Rohit is a product of a neoliberal state, and a neoliberal state, very paradoxically celebrates differences. It kind of celebrates religion, it kind of celebrates caste, it kind of celebrates gender, it celebrates almost ethnicity, you name it, it celebrates. So what it means when you say it celebrates? It simply means it removes any radical potential of these forces. And I think what Rohit was, in my own limited understanding, his letter especially, is exploring, is to give some vitality to an irreducible identity or an irreducible plurality. I'm sorry for using such a big word, but it is something which is very important. He can't be reduced to any particular identity, and we all carry multiple identities, and he was one chap who was articulating that kind of politics, and he. So I would think I just sorted out three things. Who are the important actors for this movement that has grown in size and spirit, and we continue to work against the establishment, particularly in the University of Hyderabad. And our struggle is not just University of Hyderabad; it is across the universities. Wherever Hindu right-wing forces are there, we fight them, and this is just an instance of that kind of a struggle. Apparao is just a pawn in that struggle. He is not. He is an enemy, but he is not the only enemy. He represents the larger forces, and our problem is with the larger forces as well. Obviously, he has to be arrested. I would like to end this by saying that if Dalit lives matter and how it matters in the neoliberal era, I think this is a question that we need to ponder very seriously, and we have to look at the not a monolithic Ambedkar, but a very plural Ambedkar who's tackling very different sorts of. If you have an Ambedkar with edges, and that is Ambedkar I would pitch for, not a rounded Ambedkar, and that kind of an Ambedkar is needed for this kind of a movement. With these few words, thank you.
Thank you.